Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Fortnite Season 7 tips and tricks video. In this video, we're going to be talking about, and I'm going to be analyzing a pretty nice gameplay where I get a lot of kills late game and end off with a pretty nice victory royale that I think I could give some tips and tricks and people can learn from this gameplay. People have been really enjoying my tip videos lately. The last one, just thank you guys so much for the support on that. Hope everyone is having a fantastic holidays. If my voice does sound a little bit different, it is because I am a little sick, but I'm feeling pretty good still, and I'm just, I'm loving this game lately, and I think that this holiday season really rejuvenated Fortnite with all the drops they did cosmetically, with the updates, taking the sword out. I still think the plane could use some reworks. I talk about that all the time, but today's video, we're talking about tips and tricks and a strategy, and we're going to analyze the gameplay. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to analyze this gameplay, talk about why I did what I did, when I made mistakes, when I made the right plays, and how I was able to get this victory royale, and how you guys can transfer that to improve at this game and get more wins solo, or just wins overall in Season 7. So as you can see right there, if you guys could drop a like on this video, first of all, I would very, very much appreciate that. Drop me that Christmas like or that holiday like, I would appreciate that. Smack that like button, let's go for 1,500. And a huge shout out to everyone using my supporter creator code, TheGoblinYT, in the item shop. It's been absolutely insane, and they've been dropping so many new skins lately, so I very, very much appreciate that. So let's get right into it. This game, basically what I did is I dropped Fatal, but there was really no one there, and it was kind of a slow start. So I used a couple of porta rifts to come over to Tilted Towers, and that's where I start Slay. Now, the first thing you're probably going to notice here is I am using the tactical shotgun, and the reason why I'm using that is not because I think it's better than a pump or anything like that. I really do think the pump tac can be great for up close or early game, but the pump, just the amount of damage you can hit them for and the one-shot potential is very, very huge. So what I'm doing here is, the reason why I was rocking the tac is because I hadn't found any good pumps except like a green one, I think, and the green isn't too good. The blue, the purple, and the gold are much, much better than the green, just because of that one-shot potential you get when you start using the blue, and different other stuff as well. And when I'm using this, I had a blue tac, and I was able to hold 3 different shields. As you saw me doing there with that edit play, holding the edit, waiting for a player to rush me, was a very smart play. Unfortunately, that guy didn't rush me, so I decided to sort of revamp my strategy, and this is where I get in trouble, because I'm in the middle of 2 players, and I'm the one being third party. And so what I want to do immediately is create a gap, and then create height. That's what you want to do. I kind of messed up my builds there, but I create the gap, then I create height, and then I'm in a decent position where this guy on my right, I have him in my audio on my right ear, so I'm going to hear him as he's running around, and the other guy right in front of me, of course, I can take on in a gunfight. That guy was on a head glitch, I was on my head glitch in my own ramp, so I decided to go for this guy and target this guy instead, and I basically push up, and Tilted Towers is all about shotgun aim and skill, your ability to quick place walls and edit, and mainly your ability to track audio cues. This guy was still sitting down there, so once I got up top, that was some pretty easy damage and eventually get the kill. I wasn't sure if I was going to get the kill there, if I was going to have to push that guy for the last shot, which I would have done if I had to do, but luckily I was able to get that kill, and then I can focus my efforts back onto this player. So sometimes when you're third party, when there's 3 people fighting, you don't want to be in the middle. You either want to isolate each fight, or you want to third party them when they're fighting. This guy just drops in right on top of me. People are savage like that. Some people in airplanes, like, they don't try to analyze what level of skilled player you are or anything. They will just drop onto you, and whether it's out of the sky, whether it's out of an airplane, whether it's out of the jump pad, whether it's just jumping down on top of you, that will happen over and over. And at this point is where I decide to swap out the tac, because of the fact that I have a purple pump here, which is purple and gold pumps, like the best shotguns in this game by far. And then I also remembered that there was a blue SMG that that the first guy I killed when I made that edit play and hit him with the tac earlier when I was doing my intro. I had a blue SMG back over there, so that was basically my strategy around that. And I was like, okay, after I kill this next player, I'm going to use the slurp if he does any damage to me, get that out of my inventory, and then I'm going to fill up that inventory slot with the blue SMG. Now, I was thinking about all of this stuff in the moment, and that's what you have to be doing. Thinking a step ahead. I promise you that will change your game. It's such an important thing to do, because if you're not thinking a step ahead, you'll just rush in there, and then you're going to end up with, in terrible situations with no mats, no shields, and that happens to every player, but most of the time you want to try to plan and do the best that you can to not run into that. So here is just a sort of a, like I said, this is just an edit peak game. I hit him for white right there, so I'm like, okay, this guy is obviously already weak, so I'm going to rush him. He tries to run away, which is the right play to make here. Run away through the builds. I hear him, and basically just jump around the corner with a shotgun shot. Not many people are going to expect that, and with the ramp placement as well was just very nicely done. So at this point, I was at the point where I had 4 kills, and this wasn't in a, I mean, I do end up with, you know, I think, what, 10 or 11, I think 11 kills in this game, and they all come in this late sort of game. So this is showing how to play aggressive late game, which is something that I've been enjoying to do more often. I find that a lot of the time, you know, if I go tilted off the start of something, those are the best games to get the most amount of kills, for sure. That's the best way to get the most amount of kills, and the way to do it most consistently. This guy has height advantage up on me, and this is where it gets tough, because I don't want to build up to this guy, because it's going to be rough building up. I'm going to have to put a floor, and then a pyramid, and then wait for him, and then go floor pyramid, wait for him, go floor pyramid. So that's what I like to do, is just try to get an angle, because even there, if I hit that guy, obviously that worked out super well, because I hit him and got the kill, but even if I just hit that guy for like, you know, 60 blue or something like that, he would have backed off, and that would have given me that potential to ramp up, while of course making sure if he did challenge again to cover myself. A lot of people just ramp straight up at people and not cover their heads, which is a huge way that, you know, a lot of people die and get killed and different stuff like that. Now I upgraded the SMG to the P90, and you know, I was liking the blue SMG in like season 6. Season 7, I've just been rocking with the P90. I find that, you know, just having a pump and that reliable P90 is pretty nice. This guy right here, obviously you can tell he wasn't building at all, so he either had no mats or he wasn't a very skilled player. So what you want to do here is take your time with these players. A lot of times when you see someone's not the best, you know, I could have just jumped in on that guy, and yeah, 90% would have won the gunfight still, but what if he had hit me? Even if he hit me for just 50, that I would have to use one of those big potions, and I wouldn't have one later in the game. Next, I rotate over here out of Tilted, and this is where it starts to get intense again. So my first battlefield was all over Tilted, and I'm telling you, this is how Season 7 works with airplanes, with rifts, with jump pads, with whatever it is. If you choose to fight one person, if you're going to push one person and choose to fight them, expect a third and fourth to come, at least a third in solos, because that is going to happen. Right here you can see I have this guy back on the ropes, and this is where it's clearly time for me on offense, for him on defense, and that is why he is building like that. You can see here I'm getting my shots in on him, and I'm just making sure that I keep the pressure on this guy, because the worst thing you can do when you have an enemy weak is allow them to heal. You never want to allow an enemy to heal, especially right in your face, and that's why the P90 is great for spraying. The pump is great for if the walls are weak, you can sort of pump and jump right through it and then pull out the P90 and do it. I think the Deagle, like the Deagle is so good, and a lot of people love the Deagle in Season 7. I like it as well. I think like for people that turtle, and in build fights, the Deagle is such an amazing weapon to have, but I still like to have the spray ability of the P90, and, you know, sometimes if your shots aren't 100% accurate, it is nice to have something like that to be able to cover yourself, because a Scar can work decent at close range as well, but that P90 is going to, if you spray that at the head, if you hit those headshots, it's like 40 damage up close with a crazy fire rate, it can do huge stuff. So at this point, I realized top 6, 7 kills, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to pop one of these 50 pots just because I have 2 of them, and then I hear something again, and immediately I tried to go up and get high ground, which is what you want to do when you hear someone, you know, dropping in on you or building up on you or anything like that. And now we are in a little bit of a build fight. Now I kind of screw up my builds. I didn't expect him to go higher there, which I obviously should have. So I'm able to, and I lose track of him right there. Also, I thought he was on a different level. So what I do here, this is where, like, when you get in trouble and when they crack you or when you don't really know what's going on, just go for height advantage. That's what I do here. And then when I realize the base is being shot down, of course, the thing you want to do immediately is drop down, and you can surprise people like that. I was able to surprise him. I don't know why. I mean, he should have heard me drop down, but when you're pickaxing stuff down, it is kind of hard to hear, depending on, you know how loud your audio is, and if you're even paying attention to that. And a quick drop, even if they do hear you, the time it takes for them to react, take out their pickaxe, realize which, or, you know, discard their pickaxe or put it back in the inventory, pull out their shotgun or SMG or Deagle or whatever, it takes a while, right? So you can have the advantage there if I'm dropping down, if I know his location, and if I have that shotgun. And now we're at a point where I have upgraded the shotgun to a gold because I realized I had that. 5 people left and 8 kills. So at this point, I want to go for more kills because I have some more shields, but I don't want to move because of the fact that you know, I have the height advantage. Now, of course, when I hurt this guy and get damage into on him, I'm going to now move, and I'm going to push this guy, and he eventually, you know, he turtles up as well, which is what people are going to do, and that's why I really think the Deagle is strong in Season 7. Obviously, I wasn't using it here, but SMG and just, you know, trying to replace walls can work as well. You can see here, just pushing in to work on most people. A shotgun shot when the base is weak, you know, get it weak with your SMG, shotgun shot, it kind of works like a makeshift Deagle. This guy obviously tries to run away, and he gets knocked down there, and then I'm getting shot at by, there's only 2 people left here, 2 enemies left. I realize obviously one of them is down there trying to shoot at me, and my goal here is just not to get knocked down. Like, I can hang out here. I'm only worried about a couple things. Number one, it's tracking players. Once you're in the top 5, it's all about tracking players. So I tracked 1. I know 1's down there. I know the second person is me, obviously. The third person, I don't know, though. They could be up on top of this mountain, and that's why I'm trying to make sure my builds connect to the mountain so I don't get shot down, you know, to a lower ground. And I'm also making sure I can maintain this high ground, because if that third-party guy is above me, I could be in a very, very bad position. Now, of course, this guy goes for the loot. I get some shots into him, some actual big damage shots, which make me decide, okay, this time, I had to make a decision right here. Either I go to Pleasant Park and I build for the win, probably would have been the safer decision, or I try to make sure I get this kill because I already have this guy on the ropes and weak, and that's what I do. I decide to, you know, I'm going to go for this kill, but I'm going to do it safely, and that's why you see I put a floor and then a pyramid, and then I jump up and I put walls around me, then another floor and a pyramid. So if this guy shoots me down, all I have to do is catch myself like that, and that's the benefit of being on the side of a mountain. Good players know how to play the natural terrain as well. You know, Fortnite is mainly about building and making you know, your man-made walls or man-made bases and stuff like that. But sometimes you have to use natural cover, and something like this, not even natural cover, but just connecting my builds to this mountain, I don't really have to worry because it's not too hard to catch yourself, even if you drop down a little bit. And this is where I'm at the point where I decide, okay, I need to move up now, and I need to get a better position because this zone is coming in, and I don't know where. If that was a 1v1, I would keep the pressure on that guy and go for the win. Now, this guy eventually builds back up to me, and I'm able to take on the fight with him, and that's where I'm like, okay, this is the guy that was down below. Obviously, I believe it was. I'm not sure for sure. They could have both just had rockets. I mean, that guy I think might have had an RPG. This guy quad launcher. So maybe it was a different guy here because I do hit this guy as well. But then I get this guy weak. I was thinking that this was probably the same guy, but then there's that RPG, and this might have been from the other. I don't know which one was which, but they're all spamming me with explosives, and this is what happened. This is where I made them, like, you know, I was basically fighting these 2 people by myself, and this guy, luckily, he wasn't the best player or the best builder, so but he did have rockets, which were annoying, and he did have a very strong shotgun. So what I did here is I don't panic. You know, I'm in a terrible position here just based off the fact that that rocket hit me, that he was trying to shoot at the other guy, but basically I just build in. I'm trying to connect it to the mountain, trying to just build everything. It's tough because RPGs are so good with the explosions, and I'm trying to get off this 50 pot. Now, he gets kind of lucky here. I could tell this guy wasn't, you know, the smartest player because he had me on the ropes, but he didn't push aggressively. He got very lucky, or maybe he's very smart with that timing, because I was like a couple freaking not even a couple seconds, a couple milliseconds off popping that 50 pot, and now this is where I realized I'm in a terrible spot. I have no mats, no health, and this is where I have to do the one play, which is bait the player to drop down and try to get that right hand angle on them. And the bait to drop down usually works. That guy should have stayed up top and maintained his height advantage because he knew I was weak in a 1v1. And then if he heard me popping a potion, he could have dropped down. But he just dropped down for no reason. He didn't even know I was out of mats, and I was able to get that shot in on him and luckily win that fight and win that game, even though it was a close call at the end. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys could smack a like on this thing, I'd very, very much appreciate that. Also, check out my Facebook stream, which is down in the description below, facebook.com/GreenGoblinHD, where I stream. I'm going to be streaming live for every day for the rest of the month. That's where this gameplay came from also. Thanks for watching, guys. Drop a like, subscribe. I'm out. Peace. See you guys in the next one.